Hey YouTube, welcome back to DIY Geek. In this video, I am going to do a replacement of this shower replacement cartridge. It's actually a valve that is a handle valve for my shower. Right now it's leaking and it's made by Moen. So I called Moen and they were very nice. She knows exactly which part to send for the replacement. I got it in about a week and a half, and I'm going to show you how to do this replacement. All of this is completely free because Moen has an awesome warranty. So consider buying Moen faucet or Moen valves for your plumbings or showers and things like that. All right, let's get started. This is the shower valve or handle that is leaking, and the cartridge that we're going to replace is somewhere in here. And this is not leaking really bad, but it's enough to annoy the heck out of me. Let me see if I can show you where it is leaking. Yeah, so you can see there, this one is, there's like a little bead of bubble there. Eventually it will drop. So it's just leaking just enough. Probably a few drop every seconds or so. That is driving me crazy. This leak is also causing the shower box or floor to always be wet and cause mildew, which is one of the main reasons why you do not want to have a prolonged leak going on all the time, and you need to go ahead and replace something like this. The first thing we need to do is remove this handle. There is a screw right here that will need to be removed that allow us to pull out the handle. And for this cover here, we also need to remove this, and there is also a screw down here that we need to remove. Once it's all removed, you will be able to remove the screw completely, and that's what the inside looks like. That's where the screw was, in here underneath the handle. Next thing we need to do is remove the center screw, which is just as a regular Phillips number 2 screw head, and to remove the handle. Once you have the screw removed, the plastic piece here, the black plastic, just simply pulls out like that. And this sleeve, nylon sleeve, just pulls out like that too. And now we're just left with the inside part where the valve or the cartridge is going to be. I decided to also remove these screws so that I can remove this so that I don't get it scratched. It's actually optional. You don't have to remove this cover, but I just wanted to have it removed just in case when I'm trying to open this, I get it scratched up. Once you get the shroud removed, you can just pull out this metal piece here. This is just a protective piece that makes it look good, but just pull it out. Okay, so before we remove this, try to remember where your position on the hot and cold. This is marked with red, so the hot and cold or HC is marked on here on the top. So just remember that it's marked dead center at 12 noon. Another thing to remember is that make sure that your entire house water supply has been turned off. And drain, here I have another handle here, another valve. So once my entire house water supply has been turned off, I made sure that I turn on this valve here, which turns on the my other shower head, and make sure that all the water has been completely drained out. before I start removing this valve, just in case something happens and the water can't stop flowing. Yeah, so to prevent flooding, water damage, etc., make sure that the entire house water, including this whatever goes to this particular that supplies water here to this valve or cartridge, has been turned off. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is put on this particular plastic piece here. This piece is going to go on like that. That provides a place for us to be able to turn and remove the cartridge. We're gonna turn clockwise 45 degrees to remove the cartridge inside. Before we do that, we're going to remove this spring here, or kind of like a pin. We're going to remove that so that the cartridge can come out. So that's 45 degrees right there. And currently, waters are still flowing through. So I'm gonna let that drip for a little bit, because I don't want to get any water gushing when I pull this out. Keep in mind that this is where the HC, hot cold indicator was. Now it's 45 degrees. And the next thing we need to do is pull this out. Okay, as soon as I get a little bit part of it pulled out, as you can see, it's kind of gushing out water a little bit. So just let it come out, and it should stop pretty soon. Try not to get water inside the wall, because that's going to stay there and you can't get it to dry out. Okay, so we just pulled out the entire cartridge here, and again, keep in mind where the hot and cold is, because you're going to have to put it in the same direction. The reason why we're removing and replacing this usually is because this rubber part here gets worn out after, you know, twists and turns and use over time. And yeah, just call Moen and get it replaced. It comes with lifetime warranty. It was pretty hard to pull this out, or even to turn that 45-degree turn the first time. Just put some force into it, but not crazy amount of force. And what you want to also do is take it slowly, step by step. If something does not make sense, stop and double check your work, make sure you have removed the screws and strings, etc. Make sure you have removed everything before you continue. Don't brute force something and ruin a whole bunch of parts. I think this is a good time for me to also put a disclaimer. If you're not comfortable or qualified to do any of this, don't force yourself. Get a licensed plumber and make sure that you do this right, because this is going to cause leak inside your wall if you don't do it right. You may not be able to shower for a couple of days. Yeah, so all kinds of things can happen. So make sure that you know what you're doing before you start this project. Another tip that I would like to tell you is that before you start putting on a replacement product like this, put them side by side, because even though this is a direct replacement according to Moen, and there may be some changes and revision that has been done over time that may not have been 100% compatible, and you're going to be having problems. So before you throw away the existing cartridge, make sure you keep it until you are absolutely sure that the new replacement one, this one on the left, is working perfectly and performing exactly how you expect it to perform. Next thing we want to do before we put on the new cartridge is oil the two sides of the rubber valves, or the rubber gasket, whatever you want to call it, this black area here. Particularly pay attention to this side. You see the ring that goes around the side? That's where it's going to be rubbing against the metal inside the pipe there that we're going to be inserting this in. So just generously apply the liquid here. There's more than enough liquid or oil supplied here around the ring area, and then flip it over. Do the same thing on this side. So basically one is for the hot, one is for the cold. Again, you're not going to be using this oil for anything else, so just apply it generously. I have still left over, so I'm going to go ahead and apply it here on this side too, again, as much as possible. And I still have left over. Yeah, this thing was already drenched with it, but I see a little spot that could use a little bit more, and that's it. That should be enough. I got it on a plier, so I'm ready to put it in 45 degrees, kind of like this way. Okay, so to put this in, just try to hold that 45-degree angle and just put it in as straight as possible. There will be some resistance, but should not be a lot of resistance. Just a good amount of pressure should be enough to go ahead and push this in all the way. So that was actually a lot easier than removing it, probably because I have the oil is well lubricated. Okay, it's all the way in, and I'm just going to reinstall the plastic turning thing so that I can turn it to 45 degree to the left counterclockwise. Oh, I forgot to mention, make sure your HC is at the right orientation. Otherwise, you're gonna have your hot and cold backward. All right, there you go. It's installed, and I'm just trying to see what else we need to do. It's turning just fine, so I think we're ready to go. At this time, I'm just gonna put my spring and we're gonna give it a test. Okay, so this spring goes on top is there's really no direction. Is basically fine back and forth, meaning there's no front and back for it. And the hard part here is just getting it to the right grooves. I can feel it with my finger, but I just need to make sure that it goes in there. Okay, with the spring or the pin inserted, we're just gonna go backward and install the all the others parts just the way that we found it to. I haven't tightened any of this yet. The reason why is because before we put everything back and screw everything back in, what I usually want to do is give it a test. So I'm just going to loosely fit everything where I can then test it and make sure it's working before I completely screw in everything. And finally we put the handle back and the screw that goes underneath it. Okay, we got everything fully assembled again, and let's test it out. Yep, looks like things are working. And it shuts off. Hopefully it doesn't leak. It's gonna be a while for me to be able to know whether it actually leaks because of the excess water that goes through, but that looks like really good actually. I don't see any drip. So hopefully that fixed it. Yep. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you find this content useful, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel and pass this video along. Share it with whoever you think that may benefit from this video, and have a good day. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to see more do-it-yourself video like these and support my channel. Thank you.